What's going on YouTube? This is Michael in HD coming back at you with another cheap Jeep update. Today we're probably going to be installing a new starter since the original one, I'm assuming, I don't know if it's original or replacement, I didn't see any markings, has gone bad. As you can see, I already removed it and took it back to O'Reilly's and got a new replacement. It's on the bench. And the reasoning why I think it went bad is this ventilation up here. It's been raining quite a bit here in Arizona, surprisingly. All the water draining from that vent, as you can see, there's the tube here where all the water drains directly on the starter. So I don't know who at Chrysler thought this was a great idea, but I think over time all the corrosion from water and sitting, and since this Jeep's been sitting since 2010, caught up to it and it stopped engaging. I mean, it would spin, but it wouldn't, you know, the little cog on the starter wouldn't engage the flywheel. So I'm assuming the solenoid went bad. On top of that, as you can see, I bought a new wiper switch because the original one does not work. Whenever you would plug it in to the intermittent wiper module, the wipers would just stay on. So something in the switch went bad here, because no matter what you do, whenever you would turn it to the left or right, it would not work. So we're gonna have to take the steering wheel back off again. We've already done this before, and it's a pretty simple process. You're gonna need some tools though, like a flywheel puller to get the steering wheel off. And then there's this other steering wheel column puller that you're gonna need to access all the components in here. And we'll show that to you in a, I'm not sure if we're gonna do it in this video or not, since we don't have all the parts. On top of that, where the ignition tumbler is not allowing us to start the vehicle, it's locked up, nor it won't even let us to put it in like accessory mode to turn the power on. So we have that ordered and on the way. It should be here in a few days. So that's the debacle with the ignition and starter situation. Other than that, before all that happened, it was running fantastic. We didn't have any issues with the powertrain. It's been shifting good. My uncle Jeff, that's from Michigan, he's a certified mechanic. He was here about a month ago, and he went over the vehicle and said it was in good shape. And so we're gonna continue moving forward. Sorry for all the motorcycle noises. There's like a motorcycle gang riding around here lately. I don't know what's the deal with that. Also, so far we've replaced one of the seat belts, the driver's side, as you can see. That's been installed, and a new buckle. Still got to do the passenger side. As you can see, this is the passenger side one. We had to do a little trimming of the original seat belt because the buckles are different. So that's something to be installed too, so we don't have any issues regarding safety in the Jeep. On top of that, we got new sun visors installed and a new mirror. I removed the old rear seat belts that were mounted here and here and down here because they're just shot. They're all faded and old, and I wouldn't trust them in any situation regarding an accident. We also installed new hood latches, and the other ones were shot. Down here, we haven't done much down here. So this is our new starter that we purchased from O'Reilly's. It's brand new, it's not refurbished. Still has a sticker on it. And these are the old rear seat belts. You can see the right and left. Got them over on the bench. I forgot to mention we got a new heater cord too from Napa. That still needs to be installed since the other one leaks. And then we got some new center caps from 4-Wheel Parts. On top of that, we got a new wheel. This is a Pro Comp 97 series rock crawler wheel. Brand new. I'm gonna mount that on the back of the Jeep for the spare. We got the doggo out here. So I think what we're gonna do today is install the starter. So the first thing we're gonna do is clean up the spot where the starter actually mounts and meets with the flywheel. It's a little crusty. I need to clean the bolts too. There's only 2 bolts that mount it. And then you got 2 wires. This is the ignition wire, and then there's the red wire that comes from the battery that mounts to the starter as well. Well, here's the aftermath of cleaning and getting all this grease out from under. And I think I found where we're leaking too, is right in the center. I'm pretty sure that's the rear main seal that's leaking a little bit. It's not a terribly bad leak, but it's very wet over there, I can tell. From scraping all this grease, I think that's what built up over time. Well, we're gonna get this starter in here now. Get your bolts started for your starter. So the longer one's gonna be on the bottom, and then the shorter one's gonna be up top. Just like so. Get your bolt started. Take your long bolt. Should line up pretty well. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, as Mortsky would say. Sir Mordicus knows a lot about bad starters. I don't know if you guys watch Mortsky Repair, but I watch his channel all the time. Along with like Puddin's Fab Shop and Vice Grip Garage. They're kind of the 3 channels that got me into wanting to do a project. So now we're gonna take our ignition wire and this little guy. There's a washer on here, a locking washer. If I can get this off with my hands. Oh no, the camera fell over. Now we're gonna take the red wire coming from the battery, and that's gonna mount right onto this terminal right here. But before I do that, I'm gonna clean this off. Alright, well, we got our red power lead nice and clean and shiny. So we'll get that installed down here. Whoop. Goes on just like that. Just get that threaded on there. And here we go. Now we just gotta tighten all these bolts up and we should be good to go. Alright, the bottom bolt is a 14mm. And then the top one is a 15. The one way up here. And then your power from the battery is a 14mm bolt. And an 8mm for your ignition wire. Tighten up our ignition wire here. Power. And then your top bolt, and you should be good to go. Well guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today. Hopefully you guys learned something about installing a starter for a 94 Jeep Wrangler. If you have any questions, you can always comment down below. And if you could subscribe, that'd be awesome. I'm planning on doing another video pretty soon on possibly taking apart the steering wheel and the steering column. Show you guys how that happens and how we can address this ignition issue with the tumbler and fix the windshield wipers. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.